Worksop! Come on, Worksop!
Hello and welcome back to Tiger Talk, the official podcast of Worksop Town. It's episode 5 and I am joined by the warm embrace of Luke Atherton, who after a week away, which is simply unacceptable, how does it feel to be back, Luke?
Great to be back, mate, and it was great to watch that last night. I thought that were a terrific performance again. Just shows the how good we are, but yeah, glad to be back.
Before we dive deeper into the performance and sort of sing the praises of the squad, here's what's on today's show. Like I said, we discussed the victory over Eastwood Community and hear the thoughts of Craig Parry and Ben Tomlinson. We also preview the trip to Stockton Town and the visit of our rivals Frickley Athletic on Monday. And finally, we hear from Jon Hood, who speaks about the goalkeepers of the club, tells us his thoughts going into the game on Bank Holiday Monday against his former side, and he answers your questions. So let's get into it.
Something tells me I'm into something. Something tells me I'm into something. Woke up this morning feeling fine.
So let's start with the FA Cup replay. Eastwood Community 2-5 Worksop Town. A brilliant response from Saturday's draw. Luke, an overall better performance.
Yeah, I thought it was a good response. I thought it showed how strong mentally the squad is. They're very disciplined. I mean, we controlled the game for the majority of it, and I think from defence to attack, we were brilliant. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was more positive. I think we were progressive in possession. I think the formation change as well, going from a 4 to a 5, or which is more like a 3 with advanced wing backs, worked out a lot better for us, and we looked a lot more comfortable, especially in defence. I thought on Saturday they played counter attack and cut through us too many times. But on Wednesday night, they still continued with that counter-attacking style, but I think we dealt with it a lot better, which you've got to give a lot of credit to Eastwood. They kept going for it, and that Sam Moore was sensational over the 2 legs.
Yeah, I agree. I think they put up a good fight. They didn't give up. They kept attacking, and they just didn't. There were no fear with them. I thought they just thought, right, we're going to play how we play, and we'll see what we can get from it, and just put 110% in. That's Sam Moore. I mean, that second goal he scored was unreal. I mean, into top corner from the edge of the box was just amazing.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about their goals. Let's talk about ours, because obviously we've got 5 to pick from.
Well, you've got a whole bunch, haven't you? Because you've got goal poachers goals, you've had goal mouth scrambles that have gone in, you've had some wonder strikes. I mean, the first goal was it's just set the tone for it. Then I think we just kind of it put wind in the sails, and we just didn't look back after that first goal, did we?
I think it was one of them where, as we saw on Saturday, how quickly they can get back into it. We just ensured that once we got one, we got the second, and then once that second one went in, we sort of just we overloaded positions and packed the midfield and sort of just kept possession. I think all 5 goals had their ounces of quality in there. I think the first one obviously being Connor Smythe's throw, Jack Broadhead with a flick on, McDonald headed it in. The second one, ball came back into the middle. Starshenko's header was saved, but Tomo was there to stab it home. Obviously, a poacher like him, you give him a little sniff, he's going to take it. Then Connor Smythe again, his corner went into the middle. Broadhead made the challenge, won the ball, sort of hooked it away from the player, and poked it in. There was a question about obviously watching it back, a question of maybe a foul on the keeper or a foul in the build-up, but obviously the man in authority didn't see it, and we'll take it. The fourth came at a good time as well. Obviously, we just conceded. Even a few people that were tweeting in said, "Oh, is a comeback on now?" And obviously, we killed that thought straight away.
Yeah.
A deep free kick from Gibbo, headed on by Tomlinson to Maka, who really held off his man well before poking it in. And then the final one to top it all off, Connor Smythe's cross, a poor punch from the goalkeeper, Zayn Hakeem there to power it home.
Good finish that.
A great celebration afterwards as well, which you can see on the Tigers View, which will be coming out. I should imagine it'll be out now, after the podcast. And if it's not, go and check it out whenever it's out. A brilliant episode, and obviously relive it. The crowd was amazing. It sounded really well as well. But let's hone in on the main instigator of that. Connor Smythe, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he was rapid down that left wing. He was causing problems, and he's good on set pieces because obviously he takes corners and throw-ins, and his defensive side was phenomenal as well as his attacking side. And I just thought it were a perfect performance from him. What do you think?
I think his inclusion since he recovered from COVID has been fantastic. To have him, obviously, was thrown straight back in on Saturday. And I don't think, as we've mentioned before, the defence will not want to think about Saturday again. But he got that 90 minutes in his belt, and he sort of just took it and flourished on Wednesday night, where he was given the freedom to sort of go forward more as a left wing back. And as we saw, he got involved in the attacks. And it wasn't just him as well; it was the other side as well. Aronson and Nielsen on the right, continuing his impressive performances recently. Yeah,
he's been class. I mean, even in the Sheffield FC game, the cross he put for Starsenko's header was brilliant. I mean, the weight was perfect on it for Starsenko to just nick it in front to that defender, and I think he's really impressed me. He's impressed me in pre-season. I thought he's looking sharp when he's playing. He's got a good attitude, and I think this season is going to be a good season for Aaron.
I think there was one moment in the game where Baxendale's goal was called for offside. Unfortunately, it was very tight, but he drove forward, took on two players, and then did a sort of roulette. The skill is called. Past his man. It just shows the confidence that's oozing out of him after 2 goals on Saturday. But I suppose it's been going everywhere, oozing out of everyone, especially with a scoreline like that as well.
Yeah, I think like I think Tomo said about 9 goals in the last 2 games. I mean that automatically is going to give us confidence. Because we just, every time we go forward, we think we can score, and we look like we're going to score every time we go forward. It's you can just see how everyone plays in the movement and the passage of plays that we have. You can just see everyone's on the same page. Everyone's just knows the lane, knows where they want to go, and I just think it's going to be a good season for us going forward.
So before we discuss more about the performance and general thoughts, let's hear from Craig Parry. So Craig, a 5-2 victory at Eastwood tonight. What were your thoughts on the overall performance?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the performance tonight, really. Especially when, obviously I made my thoughts clear after Saturday's game. Really frustrated with the lads' performance and how we approached the game, really. Professionally, I thought we didn't do what a side that I like to build correctly, and we've done that tonight. We approached it, in the right manner. We took Eastwood very seriously, and we made a couple of tactical changes, should we say, and it's come off today, and the lads have done extremely well.
You mentioned about players taking responsibility. Do you think they did that today? Yeah,
100%. I think not just attacking wise. I talk a lot about attacking football, scoring goals and various things, but I thought, especially in the first half, defended extremely well. I thought the defenders took responsibility and defended, as they should do, as proper defenders should do at this level. And we tried not to take too many risks and be too clever. And we know we've got bags of bags of quality on the pitch to score goals, but defensively wise, I thought we were a lot better today and a lot better as a team.
Just to hone in on that attacking side once again, especially with the starting two, Ben and Maka, they seem to be really cohesive and a little bond starting to be built.
Yeah, I think again, I don't think just Tomo Maka. You got Zane there as well, who's doing extremely well. You got Aaron Sennett into the mix. We've got bags of ability up the top of the pitch. We can mix it up. You put in behind that, you've got Alex and backs, and again even Aaron if you're playing 2 10s in there. The ability, everyone's linking up there. So I just don't think it's just Tomo and Maka. Today they did extremely well. I thought first half they were kind of too old school. We asked them to be too old school number 9s in a way, and I think they executed that plan extremely well. But I think there's going to be other games where we might need a different type of striker to execute, and I think the combinations, whatever pairings we're doing at the minute in time, is quite good. The goals aren't being the problem.
You mentioned obviously that not being the problem, but we knew that Eastwood are a counter-attacking side, and even though that they was playing that way today, do you think your defence certainly contained that a lot better today? Yeah,
I think obviously we got a chance to have a closer look at Eastwood Saturday, and I think we got sprung a little bit. That's no disrespect to them, but I think obviously with a new manager coming in, they had a spring on in the step, and we got outsmarted a little bit really, and we completely changed the shape tonight, which I think probably they didn't handle very well, especially in the first 20 minutes, and we obviously knew that they were going to sit back and then try and hit us on the counter. We 4 midfielders joining the one up the top, but we played with 2 really high wing backs tonight and pushed them back, and I think the 2 standout performances from Connor and Aaron that executed that plan really well.
Obviously today's victory sets up a tie with Newport, Pagenal Town, and a step 5 side again, but after Saturday's game, does it just emphasise how important it is to not underestimate anybody in the FA Cup?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. The first thing I'll do tomorrow is obviously work with one of our scouts to ensure that they're watched, and get a plan in place to get them watched as many times as we can before they come to us, so we're fully prepared, knowing their strengths and weaknesses, and then we'll adapt our game towards that. They're good players in the changing room in there, and I'm sure Saturday were just one off in what I've seen so far, and I'm sure once it comes round to the next round, we'll be taking it extremely seriously, and we want to be in this cup and we want to go as far as we can.
So Paz was certainly happier than he were on Saturday. Luke, thoughts on the interview?
Yeah, I thought it was a great interview. You could sense the delight in his tone after obviously what happened on Saturday. I think a response is what we needed, and I think he was impressed with the manner in the performance, and it's great to see, like when you have Parry in an interview, he focuses on the performance as well as the result, how important that is, because obviously if you're performing well, it breeds confidence. I thought he was. I agreed with his points about how we respond as a side. I think we look stronger as the game went on. I thought certainly the second half we were totally dominant, and I just think it were another honest and good interview from Craig.
As we've mentioned many a time, Craig is honest, and when we lost to Yorkshire Amateur, he took the blame.
Yeah.
Then when we beat Sheffield FC, he praised his players. And Saturday, we saw him, obviously he was frustrated, and he called for his side. He sort of gave the responsibility to his side there to respond, and he called for that responsibility. And especially from his defence, he got that.
Yeah, I thought defensively we were fantastic. I mean, you could see how in the praise he had about the whole defence as a unit. I think even though we conceded 2 goals, they had a lot more attacks that the defence dealt with perfectly. I mean, they're really disciplined lads. I mean, they don't a bad performance. It doesn't bother them, because the next game they're looking forward to the next game to put it right. And I think that attitude that Craig's installed, it's impressive. It's really impressive, and I agree with the points about the disciplined performance throughout the 90 minutes. It was great to watch.
Now we spoke about the defensive side, and we want to praise that as much as possible because it was improved. Let's bring in the post-match interview with Ben Tomlinson.
Better than last time we played him, wasn't it? Yeah, more comfortable today. Obviously changed formation a bit. I think that helped us. But nice to get a few goals and not concede as many.
And after Saturday's performance, how important was it to get a performance like we did tonight?
Yeah, we needed it after Saturday. Obviously, it was below par for us compared to the game that we had against Chef Club. Well below that par. That's the standard that we set for ourselves. More like that today. Obviously, there's a few things we can brush up on. Do I think that we should be conceding 6? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? Let's set standards high. No, we shouldn't be conceding 6. Yeah. Positive to that is we've scored how many? 9. 9. So there we go. So there's some positives to take out of it. We're not quite the finished article yet, but yeah, positive. Like it's nice to see people smiling coming off. Like it's nice to share a few goals out today. So yeah, it's good. Yeah.
And you got an early goal early on. Can you talk us through it?
Didn't really know much about it. Azza had a shot and it went in. A bit like Grealish, to be fair. Nice to get on the score sheet. You've got to be in and around that goal mouth to get your goal. So yeah, nice to get a goal.
And how important is it to get as far in the FA Cup to boost confidence and morale?
Yeah, confidence, morale also brings a few quid into the club. This is another great reason. So obviously, yeah, we need to be looking at all these fixtures in the FA Cup and just trying to get to the next round. And obviously, the further that we get, the better it is for the club and fans as well. Everybody loves a bit of FA Cup drama, and why should we be any different?
So you spoke to Tomo after the match, and obviously he was a lot happier after that performance.
Yeah, he was buzzing after the game. You could see how happy he was. He was joking, he was laughing, and you could see he felt much better. I would imagine on Saturday he would have been distraught with how the game ended, and he just seemed like it were relief with the performance as well, because he talked about the performance, about how great we were. I know we keep talking about it, but it was just tremendous to see, because great teams, like we said before, they respond instantly, and we've got that twice now, and I think that's it's a good sign. And with Tomo, he's a fantastic player, and it was a great assessment of the game that he gave. The 9 goals in the last 2 games, I thought that gave the team. He'll give the team a lot of confidence going into Saturday, which is what he highlighted. And I think it was a great interview.
Wednesday night, he got his first goal of the season and his 47th for Worksop Town. But obviously his performance and his goal will go on record. But I think overall the way that he linked up with Steve McDonnell was a positive as well. What were your thoughts on that sort of partnership?
Yeah, I thought they were fantastic. I thought Eastwood couldn't deal with them. The movement was fantastic. They were stretching the defence, making space for others to run in. And when you've got players like that making them kind of runs, if you're certainly like Alex Starshenko or whoever's coming out from midfield into those gaps, it's meat and drink for them, because they know where the quality players, and they read off each other, and like you say, that partnership between them two, it was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, as Paz said, they're sort of playing as 2 9s, but I'd probably see I'd see Macklemore as the 10 in that forward line, obviously sometimes the 10 can be more thinking from a attacking midfield role, but as a 9 and a 10, he's the one that's going to play off of Tomo more. And we've already seen what Tomo can do in that sort of 9 as against Sheffield FC. His flick on for Hakeem's goal for the 3rd.
Yeah.
And last night for Macca's 2nd, he leapt brilliantly to get on the end of that free kick. So Macca did the rest of the work by bullying the defender out of the way of the ball. But that sort of partnership is what he's been brought in to do. Tomlinson scored, obviously played at the Football League level, and now he's lost a bit of weight and got fitter for the season. He's starting to look a lot sharper, and I think the goals will follow.
Yeah, I agree. I think because you've got Macca's, how powerful he is. I mean, you've just highlighted there for the goal, how strong he is as a striker. He's got everything, but I mean, he can get the play, and Ben's a natural born finisher, so he's just gonna. I think they're just gonna bounce off each other, and I think the whole attacking unit as a unit bounce off each other, and I think it filters down, and the defense when they're on song, it's great to watch because teams just can't deal with them. They're just in the intensity for 90 minutes. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Definitely. That's where we do really well going forward. Like we sort of smother defences.
Yeah.
And you
high press, isn't it?
Yeah, bar the Yorkshire Amateur game, you feel like a goal's always coming.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, especially with this entertaining style, we'll see a lot of 6-4 score lines, which I suppose from a glass half full approach is sort of more entertaining for fans. Obviously, we'd love to have just a couple of 2-0 wins in there and get things underway and keep the heart rate down and the blood pressure intact. And I suppose what we need to do now is do something that we've not done yet this season, which is take a win and make it a second one. And we have the opportunity to do that on Saturday against Stockton Town. And it's a long trip up north into the northeast. Stockton have started really well. They're 2nd in the league. They drew their opening game, Stockbridge Park Steels, a goalless one there before wins over Hebburn Town, Bridlington Town, and then they beat Ossett United in the FA Cup. It's starting to shape up to be a difficult matchup. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a tough game. Like Craig said, it's going to be good for the neutrals. I think I'm expecting a high-scoring game. Hopefully, we come to the game full of confidence with 9 goals in those last 2 games and a good performance on the Wednesday night. And obviously, they do up there unbeaten, and they've come off 3 wins now, so they're coming into the game with off a 3-winning streak, and they'll be wanting to extend that as well. They'll feel confident. They're on their own patch. It's a long trip for us, so hopefully we're ready for it, and I'm sure Parry and everyone will be up for the game.
Yep. So as Luke said, it's a long trip, and I'm looking forward to going up there this weekend. Hopefully, there's a lot of Tigers fans that will follow us up there. I know a few of the lads are going on the train, so safe trip, fellas. And also, if you can't make it, unfortunately, obviously we know that we've got there's an older audience. There's also a bus on, so hopefully everyone's up there to give our full support. If you're not there, then please follow our social media, Twitter. We'll be doing live updates from the game. Obviously, hopefully we'll get to enjoy some more goal gifts. But yeah, so before we move on to Monday's game, because it's a quick turnaround, let's bring in Paz's thoughts and Tomo's thoughts going into the next couple. We're now going to a gruelling weekend, obviously a trip up to Stockton before facing Frickley on the Monday.
Yep.
How do you sort of prepare for those games in quick succession?
Well, probably this week as a little bit for us has probably helped us out a little bit, really, because obviously we've rather than beating twice this week, we've obviously been won the game time here. The lads have done a cool down after, and then it's the feet up and resting and trusting them that they'd look after themselves going into a gruelling period. It's going to be tough. There's no doubt in that. But every game's tough in this league. You can't get too up, you can't get too down. You've got to take every game as it comes, and we've got to, try and pick up as many points as we can on the road. Starting from Saturday, and ensure that we make our own, territory a fortress to take as maximum as we can. So, it's no game's easy, but we're up for the challenge, and we're looking forward to Saturday now off a good performance.
After starting the season with a defeat, Stockton have gone on a really good run of form. What do you think you'll expect from them?
I think the form guide for me is, I'm not really going to even our own form. I'm not going to even look at it till after 10 games. I think it's just such a league this year where I think it's impossible to do that. I really do. I think there's so many, there's going to be so many twists and turns. We've got the pandemic in there, we've got COVID in there. I think a lot of teams are very much alike. I think there are a lot of good standards in there. So, I look at the teams at the minute that maybe took a couple of losses early doors, but I expect them up, top six or in with a shout at the end of the season. So for me, form wise, it makes no difference. It's a game of football. There's 3 points on offer. And we will try as best to get as many points as we can in there. And we know we're against a very good side that has started well, but they're all human. They're all footballers, same as our chaps, and it's going to be a good game. I'm sure they will play attacking football and try and get at us, but we're going up there to play exactly the same and try and outscore them. So I think for the neutral it might be an interesting game.
And Stockton and Frickley in the next in under a week. What are your thoughts in them 2 games?
Don't think it's about them 2 games. I think it's about every game as an individual game, and they're all tough. Do you know what I mean? Like you look at the results. Even already, how many games are we in? 3 games.
4.
League games.
League
and
games,
people are beating everybody. Do you know what I mean? So every game is an individual where we've got to try and take 3 points from that game. So not looking too far ahead. Take each game as it comes. Try and get 3 points in that game, and then we'll be there and thereabouts come the end of the season, which is the main thing.
Obviously, going up to these north-east sides, Hebburn, Stockton, Shildon, we're coming up against some unknown entities. However, on Monday we come up to somebody that's rather familiar in Frickley Athletic. Obviously, we've had some great meetings over the years, and it's a fierce rivalry. They are 7th in the league currently. Obviously, league standings don't really count at the minute, and form, as Paz reiterated, means nothing in these opening few games. After 10, 15 games, you start to paint a picture of how they're going. Obviously managed by former Worksop assistant Dave Frecks. They opened with wins over Hebburn Town and Brighouse Town before facing back-to-back defeats against Sunderland RCA and Lincoln United, losing 3-0 and 1-0 respectively. Like I mentioned, the rivalry is big between us, so it should be an entertaining spectacle, Luke.
Yeah, I think it'll, with it being a local derby, I think, and bank holiday Monday, everyone's going to be out. I think it's going to be end-to-end game. Both 2 good sides tussling it out. I'm expecting a tough game. I would imagine they'll bring quite a few fans with them as well, because they did last time. And I think it'll be interesting to see how we operate after playing on Saturday against another tough team. I think it'll be interesting to see how we turn up on Monday, and whether he picks a different side, whether he does a different system. I mean, only Craig will know about that, and I think it'll be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, it's a new experience as well, because it's been a long time since these players, obviously due to COVID, have played a game, a rest day, and then another game.
Yeah.
How do you think we could? Obviously, we've got a small squad. How do you think we'll deal with the playing in quick succession?
I believe we'll be fine, because Craig's teams are very fit. He's been building their fitness up for the last 2 months or so, and you can just see how we've played this season. When we've played well, we've really continued that from the first whistle to the last, and that's through fitness. I mean, you can, if you've got the quality, fair enough, but that'll be in patches if you've not got the fitness. But with the fitness they have, I believe that'll help us it'll prevent injuries as well as much. I think if you're fit and you're up for each game and you have that attitude that they have, I think we'll deal with it all right. I'm expecting a few changes on the Monday match, probably. Maybe might leave a few players out on Saturday for Monday for obvious reasons, because it is a short period. But I think we'll be fine because we're a fit squad.
As we said before, obviously Luke Jeffs last year being involved with that side, but Mark Whitehouse and James Baxendale have worked hard to get the lads fit over the summer, and it's not just this summer. It started in April and May with a pre-season. And I suppose if you're in football, you've got to be fit to have these quick turnarounds. Obviously, normally you get a couple of days break, but if you condition yourself well over bank holiday, obviously you want to have a couple of drinks and enjoy hopefully some nice weather. But if not, football on bank holiday weekends is really good normally. So hopefully we get another memorable game. Obviously we've got a little bit of a should we say redemption. The last time Frickley came to Worksop at Sandy Lane, they beat us 3-0. It was the New Year's Day game in 2020, which seems so long ago. They beat us 3-0, and as Luke could probably be able to tell you, I was absolutely devastated at full time. But we've also had the highs as well. Obviously, before our time, Worksop beat Frickley 12-0 in 2000, and we've also had the Senior Cup final at Hillsborough where we beat Frickley 3-2. Entertaining game. I think Jamie Jackson got 2 and Owen Warlow scored from the edge of the area. A real throwback game. That's still on YouTube if anyone wants to sort of get yourself ready for Monday's meeting. So obviously the fans will be up for it, and I'm sure the players will. Obviously, we've got a lot of links with Frickley. Currently, they've got a couple of really good players on the books. Martin Walford, former Sheffield United midfielder who played for the likes of Grimsby and York City. He's playing for them. They've got Lee Frecklington, who's played for the likes of Rotherham. He's been their captain during their promotion to the Championship. They've also got the Wells brothers, Kieran and Brad, who have been a thorn in Worksop side for many a year when we were at this level. They've also got youngsters like Brad Beatson and Joe West, who were at Sheffield Wednesday as youngsters. That's how I remember them. But one player in particular, which is a little bit sad for Worksop fans, is that Leon Metham is with Frickley. Obviously scored many goals for us and an absolute legend. That partnership with Tom Denton being a highlight. But we've got our own players that have played for him. Obviously, we've had Jake Picton's captained both, and Seb's played for them as well. So, but one in particular, Jon Hood, our goalkeeper coach, played for Frickley for many a year before going into a coaching role. And obviously, like we like to finish on with the podcast with a long form interview. So here's Jon Hood. He's going to talk about obviously the goalkeepers at the club, how he's found so far this season, and also his time at Frickley before he answers some fan questions. So first of all, Jon, how would you assess our pre-season period and our start to the campaign?
Our pre-season period, I thought, was very, very good. We showed a lot of discipline in games, and to take that into the season, to really lose the opening game of the season was a big disappointment in my eyes. But it might give the lads a bit of a jolt to realise how difficult this league's going to be.
As a goalkeeper coach, how do you sort of plan for pre-season training sessions, but also training sessions in general?
Pre-season, it's basically getting the lads' fitness back up to scratch, and also getting what I call the footwork, making sure that's up to scratch, because anybody can theoretically catch a ball, but it's the moving in the right direction to make sure you can catch that ball properly. I like to do a lot of short, sharp stuff to keep them on the toes, and that builds the fitness up at the same time. And during the season, it's basically just keep them ticking over and just keep working on little things like that, just keeping the sharpness so they're ready for a match situation.
Obviously, Tiernan has returned to the club on loan from Notts County. What is it like working with him? Obviously, and being close to the Football League, I suppose even with the experience that you've got, you might be learning one or two things from him as well.
Yeah, Tiernan's a very good goalkeeper for his age. He's got quite, just apart from the fact that he's not got the same size and stature of somebody like Yana we had last night, and obviously Seba that we've got. He's a tall keeper. He's got a very good kick on him. His distribution's really good, and he's a good shot stopper. He's not quite the physical presence as yet, but if he does fill out and he'll be an absolutely cracking keeper and shouldn't be far away from the Football League, knocking on the door of the Football League. Obviously, Notts County rate him very highly, and they want him to get game time, which is why they've allowed him to come on loan to us.
Obviously, that game time is important, and he's already played 2 games for us now, and he made some great saves against Sheffield FC and even against Yorkshire Amateur, despite us conceding 3. How would you rate his start to the season?
The first game against Yorkshire Amateurs, he'd not played for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, because I know he'd been playing for Notts County, but he hadn't played for a couple of weeks. And I think he was a little bit cold in that game. But like you said, he still made some very good saves. And you could see the difference 90 minutes in when he played against Sheffield, and he was different class. He was a different goalkeeper on the Tuesday till he was on the Saturday. And that just becomes a bit of match preparation and match fitness and getting back into the swing of things.
With Tiernan and Jan, as you mentioned, it was played in the FA Cup games, and with Seb returning, how strong are Worksop currently in the goalkeeping department?
Wow. In my eyes, we've got what we have. We've got looked at obviously Jan is an aging keeper who's been there at the high level and done it. So he's there. And then we've got Seb, who's international, and he's probably at his peak, I would have thought, or just at his prime in his age. And then you've got Tiernan, who was probably one of the most up-and-coming goalkeepers that I've personally worked with over the last 10, 15 years, maybe.
Obviously, we face Frickley on Monday after a trip to Stockton. You were there for many years. How did you find your time with the club, both as a player and a coach?
As a player, I had some really good times, and obviously we were usually battling at the bottom of the league and trying to avoid relegation and things like that. Obviously, a couple of seasons we did get reprieved, but when you actually avoid relegation, it's sometimes the euphoria is exactly the same as probably winning a league. And we did that on numerous occasions at Frickley. As a coach, we probably only had maybe 1 or 2 seasons where we weren't in that bottom half of the table. And it's unfortunate for a club like Frickley that they can't keep and maintain that top half of the table sort of challenge, if the words is what I'm looking for. They are actually seen in a lot of people's eyes as perennial strugglers, which it's not a nice feeling when you know for a fact that every season you're going to be battling at the bottom end of the table. Hopefully for Worksop this year, we won't be doing that. We'll be doing what happened at Pontefract with Paz in control and at the top end of the table for a good few seasons, hopefully.
Obviously, the rivalry between the 2 clubs is quite fierce from past experience as a fan, and myself seeing a lot of ties between them. Have you played in this fixture before, and what is it like?
I've played in this fixture before. It's a long time ago, and I've never played at Worksop. I don't think. Can't remember playing at Worksop. Obviously, I've been there as a coach for the opposite team, but I've never played at Worksop. We only ever played at Frickley when I played against Worksop. But it is a decent rivalry. Obviously, a lot of it stems back to the 1985 miners' strike, which I've had conversations with people at Worksop now, and they said there was maybe only one person that worked during the strike, and that's what a lot of Frickley fans bring it up, and that's where obviously the rivalry and the scab sort of criteria comes from, even though it's mainly false. So I've always been to Worksop as a coach, and it's been hostile, should I say? So to actually be at the other side of it this time, it's quite refreshing.
And as you mentioned, now you're on the other side, and hopefully the good side. What do you think we can expect from them on Monday afternoon? Sorry.
I've not heard a lot. I know they didn't have a very good pre-season, but they've started off quite well. I think they've maybe won 1 out of 2 games or 1 out of 3 games. So I don't know. There'll probably be an organised side. I've heard. I'm not sure. I'm 100% not sure what we're going to expect, to be fair. But like you said, it's a local derby, so things should be heated. I would have thought it'll be a bit of a battle. I don't know what the footballing side will be like. Hopefully, we can play our style of football and get a good result.
I've got a couple of questions that feed off of one of the fan questions, so we'll go into that now. Hopefully, a little bit more relaxing, talking just about general stuff. There's some weird questions in this one, but starting off with Rich. Rich Nelson asks, "What's your ideal Christmas present?"
Oh, what a question that is! Oh wow, my ideal Christmas present. I would say to have Liverpool at the top of the table and them stay there till the end of the season.
I'm sure he weren't expecting that. I think you were expecting
exactly.
Either Lynx Africa or something like that you get each year. But him being a Manchester United fan, he'll probably resent that a little bit.
Exactly. I do apologise, Rich.
Chris Beswick follows that up with something that you might have heard quite a few times, considering your surname. He's asked, "Are you related to Robin?"
No, I don't think I am. I am related to the actor Adrian, though.
All right.
Yeah.
Another question coming in. I'm sure he's a massive fan anyway. But Liam Bateman asks, "Why are you always late?"
It's probably down to whoever's driving the car at the time. It's usually Alex that we're waiting for, Alex Starchenko. But I'm not always late, Liam Bateman.
Lucas C asks, "What has been your favourite game since joining the Tigers?"
Favourite game since joining the Tigers? That would probably be. I'm going back to the Chester game when it was 2 apiece. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold on to the lead when we were 2-0 up in the FA Cup, and we end up losing on penalties. But that was probably the best game that we've had, because it was an higher opposition. We've had some other good results as well, like when going travelling on a Tuesday night down to Herefordshire to play Westfields in the FA Cup, and end up beating them. But yeah, I would say the higher opposition against Chester.
I suppose going from last night as well at Eastwood and getting through and thinking about that Chester game, it sort of whets your appetite about wanting to go far in the cup as well.
Yeah, every club wants to sort of do really well in the FA Cup. Just going back to the FA Cup last season, obviously Chester beat us, and then the next round they played Marine and lost to Marine, and look where they ended up. They end up in the 3rd round proper against Tottenham. So the minnows in the FA Cup can go a long way if they play the right way and just get a bit of luck. And hopefully a good cup run will bring some more supporters into the club and bring joy to the supporters that are already there anyway. So that's what we're aiming for, to try and get as far as we can in the FA Cup and any cup competition, to be honest.
Liam_GP.12 on Instagram asks, "Which goalkeeper do you currently idolise?"
Goalkeeper do I idolise? For what they've done for the country, I won't say idolise, but for what they've done for the country and how old they are and the sort of presence that they've got, you can't look much further than the Italy keeper, Donnarumma, because he's done a hell of a lot in he's such a young age. He's probably he's 21, 22. And he's been playing professional football probably for AC Milan since he was 16. So that takes some doing. So I would say that's probably one of the main keepers for me.
Just to flip on that, obviously you've enjoyed a great career. When starting out, who did you look up to then?
I was starting at early 90s. So I think you look at the people like Peter Shilton and people like that. I'm showing my age now a little bit, but Peter Shilton when he was England goalkeeper, and then obviously after that you got David Seaman, who were both very, very good goalkeepers. So, and then they've got obviously, like you said, you've got your Liverpool goalkeepers like Bruce Grobbelaar, was just an absolute head case, but he was a good goalkeeper. So that's probably three you can look up to.
Dylan Moz1 on Instagram asks, "How did you get into goalkeeper coaching, and how long have you been coaching for?"
How did I get into it? I stopped playing officially, or my last game was now 2012, and I can't remember who was the manager at the time at Frickley. He just said, "Will you hang around and do train my goalkeepers?" I says, "Yeah, no problem." Basically, it was like there was no set pattern of how I went into it. It just sort of happened, and gradually, when managers left at Frickley, I was still involved, and they just kept me on. So that's why I was there so long as the goalkeeper coach. And obviously, I left there. Paz knew of me, took me to Ponty, and obviously he's brought me to Worksop. So it's just a progression. It's not, there was no one thing just said, there you go. When it just happened.
Despite that sudden jump, obviously coming towards the end of your career, did you all think this is something that I wanted to do, just to be involved with football as well?
I always wanted to, when I finished playing, I always wanted to still be involved, but I didn't know in what capacity. I never wanted to be a manager. I probably could have done a number two's job, but I just never wanted to be a manager. So for me now, I come to the games, I do what I have to do to the keepers, get the keepers sorted, and make sure they're ready for the game. And that's my job done, apart from watching the game and then making sure that they're doing the things in the right way, so we can actually work on things that don't go the right way in training.
You also said that one of your final games were in 2012. Were you part of the Senior Cup final by any chance?
No, it was prior to that. We played at Handsworth, and for some reason the goalkeeper didn't turn up, and I was just travelling as a fan to the game, and they rang me and says, "Look, where are you?" I went, "I'm on motorway, so I'll hurry up and get here because you're playing." I went, "No, I'm not. I've got no gear." So somebody lent me some boots, somebody lent me some shin pads, and somebody lent me some gloves, and that was it. Oh, and it was a clean sheet, by the way.
I suppose stuff like that is just absolute. It's what a way to end your career as well.
Yeah, you can't write it, to be fair. It was just one of them things. Well, you're playing. I weren't expecting to play. So I've been training, obviously. You train with the keepers, and I was still doing a bit at that stage, so it wasn't too bad, but they just didn't turn up, and that was it. So, but yeah, it was a funny day, because I've been to Cornwall that day driving, so I wasn't really looking forward to playing. If somebody said I'm playing, I wouldn't have gone to Cornwall, but there you go.
Brilliant. Last question. Obviously, we've seen you this season training up Ryan Green at parts, the 21's goalkeeper. But Ben Dober asks, what is the best way to train a new goalkeeper?
Best way to train a new goalkeeper? Whoa, I would say try and get the basics right, get the footwork right, get, as daft as it sounds, get them to catch the ball right in the right areas. So if it's coming above chest height, catch it in front of you. Chest height, get him to roll it into him and catch it in his stomach and his midriff with the ball around him. And it's just little things like that and working on their angles. You don't need to have a great deal of knowledge to do it. It's just the experience that can make people progress.
So there's Jon. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and whenever we get players on, we'll put a tweet out or a post on Facebook and Instagram or on the fans forum asking for questions. So if you'd like to do that, just keep an eye out on for a post from one of us. hopefully, it gets onto the. We've had some weird questions over the last couple, but yeah, John there, probably relishing this weekend.
Yeah, I think he'll be up for it. It adds extra spice to the derby, doesn't it, when you've got ex-players playing or ex-coaches. I think he could probably give some advice to the squad. I mean, he knows the club inside out, like you mentioned in his playing career there. Yeah, it'll be. I think he'll be looking forward to Monday. I mean, he'll be focused on Saturday, but he'll be after Saturday. He'll be itching for Monday to come round the corner.
So that's the end of the podcast, episode 5. These podcasts are coming thick and fast, and this one being a little treat. Obviously, we've got to preview 2 games in one just because of the quick turnaround. I don't think we'd have enough time on Saturday night to get it out for Sunday and then get ready for the Monday game. But yeah, so it's going to be an entertaining one. Hopefully, we pick up some positive results and we can go into next episode with some more positivity.